So this is the entrance to the Jefferson Hotel, which is a legendary hotel in Washington, D.C. It was recently reopened, and Chateau Palmer will be featured at a tasting dinner tonight with Thomas Duroux, the winemaker. I think I'll repeat that because there's some buses and trucks going by. Thomas Duroux, the winemaker, at the Jefferson, famous hotel in Washington, D.C. As you can see up here, the flag of Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia, the heart of American politics, and the American flag. So, we'll be coming right back shortly to you at the Jefferson. So here we are at Plume Restaurant, which is the Jefferson's gourmet restaurant in Washington, D.C. You can see we've got 5 glasses of wine per person. There'll be 15 people dining. There'll be 5 services. In other words, we'll have 5 servings of food, each accompanied by 17 wines. The table's kind of long. It's a beautiful room, as you can see. Nice wood enclosure. And the walls are actually lined up with bottles which belong to the restaurant, to their cellar. So they have some lovely wines as well. But we'll have the privilege of getting wines directly from Chateau Palmer, along with Thomas Duroux, who's the winemaking director at Chateau Palmer. This is Frank Crespo.
Hello.
At Plume. We are looking at all these lovely bottles of Palmer, lining them up, getting ready to uncork them and decant them. 17 vintages in all, 2 of which are Alter Ego, the second wine. Frank is lining them up just to make sure we don't mix them up, you see, because when you have so many bottles of wine, it can be confusing, especially because all the labels are very similar, as you can see. Thomas is decanting the wine, actually double decanting. What does that mean, double decanting?
Well, hop, blah, 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 blah. You see?
Uh-oh, what happened?
Il y en a toujours plus quand on le remet dans la bouteille. C'est ça le problème.
Well, there's 2 different goals when you decant the wine.
Right.
For young wine, it's just to add oxygen in the wine.
Right.
So you make sure that the wine will be open enough when we'll taste it. And for older wine, you want to separate the wine from the solids, from the sediments, just to have it perfectly clear with no cloudy aspects.
So this is a candle we've got. Thomas, why do you need that candle? What does that do?
Well, the candle is a very old tool to see through the bottle if the wine is clear. So that way, as soon as the sediment that is located at the bottom of the bottle comes out, I will stop to pour the wine into the decanter.
We're at the book room of the Jefferson Hotel. I'm with Thomas Duroux, winemaking director at Chateau Palmer, and we're having a Delamont 99 Blanc de Blanc.
Blanc de Blanc.
Oh, that sounds very nice. Cheers.
Cheers.
So what is this champagne? Is it Blanc de Blanc? What does that mean?
You asked me?
I'm asking you.
I mean, I'm from Bordeaux, come on.
I know, but
I have no idea.
I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Blanc de Blanc, if you remember well, means that there's just some Chardonnay used for it. And plus, it's this wine is made by one of my old buddy, one of my old friends, Didier Dupont, who is the president of De La Mode and Salon.
Wow.
And it's always a pleasure to drink a wine produced by a dear friend.
That's great. And
It tastes different.
And it's 1999, so it's literally more than 10 years old. Yeah, good.
That's a good way to start our evening, isn't it?
Yeah, you know that there's a pen and paper for any notes that you want to take. All right, and we're going to start with the 06 Alter Ego, which is going to be on your left, followed by the 04 Alter Ego, which is going to be on your right for the first course.
You mean like far right, far left?
No, the 06 will be on your left, going from left to right.
Okay.
And we'll be using the same glasses for the next course, so what we'll do is it's up to us to, that's why we have all the buckets, to clean out the glasses for the next set of wines. And this glass here on your far left is for a Riesling Sylvaner that Kevin brought. So, Kevin. And we must also make mention for Randy, who brought us a 99 Palmer. So, that'll be...
So, less Chateau Palmer, more Alter Ego than what we used to do. 2 different expressions from a same terroir, 2 different painting from the same landscape. That's what we try to do.
So
Tomorrow.
most of your
A lot of
choice
questions.
is in the vineyard during or before harvest. Most of your choice or
Yes.
selection.
I would say that for 80% of the lots, we know when we harvest what will be Palmer and what will be Alterigo. Maybe one day, well, it's still a new process for us. So we start from scratch every year. But maybe in 5 or 10 years, our knowledge for these two production will be good enough to know that this block is really Palmer and this one is really Alterigo. So
The question is,
at Palmer there is a style. It's been more than 400 years that wine is produced on this property. So we have to respect the style. Everybody will, add a little touch of something, but the style of Chateau Palmer is really well known. Purity, delicacy, femininity. We have to respect it. It doesn't mean that the wines that we are doing today are not deep or rich. They can be rich and feminine. They can be deep and elegant. That's what we try to do.
the question is, what would be the wine you would order tonight at a restaurant out of these 5? And I would say 98, but
I agree.
okay.
That's
All
what
right.
I would choose to.
Well, what about the most potential? What do you think has the most potential? Is there, 04 maybe, or
99.
99? Oh, interesting. Yeah, 99 had a lot of.
The 99 has probably the most length and the most density of fruit, so if it develops complexity, over the long haul it could be really outstanding.
Ken, what did you think of the 99? It had a lot of power, didn't it? So,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I agree. What are your thoughts here with the 01?
Well, my thoughts on the 01 are that the development is fabulous, but very fast. It's a very precocious wine and a little surprising, but my thoughts are primarily that it has a lot of potential ahead of it, but that it has developed faster than anyone would have expected who tasted it when it was young.
And the 03?
The 03 is pretty much, my thoughts about the 03 are that it's pretty much what I expected for the vintage, slightly diffuse and a little bit lacking concentration, quite ripe, still Palmer though, and still a lovely wine, but it would not be my personal choice among the vintages of Palmer.
And how about the 04?
04, I'm a big fan about the 04 vintage generally. The Palmer is a very good example of an 04. I'm again struck, it is not as I expected it. It turns to me to be a bigger wine than I expected, but one that still is giving a great amount of pleasure, but one that I think you want to enjoy it in a few years. Surprisingly structured.
Great, thanks.
Right, so we're having 5 vintages, another 5 vintages. I'm afraid you're right. What's amazing is that we have some off vintages.
Well, the funny thing about 07 is Mark, I kept trying to get him to confirm on, I think it was VCC. He wouldn't do it because the dollar was too weak.
Not a great vintage.
So finally I got a call,
Really
the
nice.
dollar went down.
There
I
is
can
one
confirm
that's
your price.
here in
So I think I got my
1981,
one
which is
case.
a little bit tired.
It's like watching the stock market
Long in
every
the
day.
tooth, as they say.
Other than
But
discussion,
this one, 1978.
The wines are
This is
not bad.
one,
I thought it
78.
very good. I mean,
Really good. It goes well with this meat. As you can see, I've sort of consumed it.
Alterigo 07,
It's
I
just-
drink it now.
It smells very, very elegant, smooth. It just drinks really well.
The
So,
price was just
again, we're going through another
Did you
5
try
wines of Palmer. We're having a
But
great
Mark, you
time.
didn't have 07 Palmer, I don't think.
No.
I think
So,
it was.
what is the difference between Bordeaux? What makes Bordeaux special as opposed to other wine-making regions?
I
Well,
think the 2000 blows it away.
you don't want a wine that'll knock you over the head and impress you with really sweet gobs of fruit. If you want that, that's Australia. Sweet gobs of fruit, rich. And I don't want to criticize Australia because, there's some great wine made in Australia. But Bordeaux is more subtle. It has a little bit more of an iodine character, a little bit more sort of a fruit combined with minerality. And so what's interesting is that the 2005 that we're drinking now has a little bit of that over-the-topness. It's a really rich, powerful wine, and yet it remains Bordeaux. It remains tannic, mineral. The 2000 is a wine that is more subtle, in my opinion, more subtle and more interesting right now to drink.
It's not one that I regret.